Sometimes grip isn't enough. You need the front wheels to do more. Let's change the game. Welcome back to part 4. In part 3 we lowered the center of gravity with brass knuckles and the rig felt more stable than ever. But there's still one big problem. On climbs the rear pushes while the front struggles to pull. Today we're going to fix that with 23% overdrive, and if you've never seen the difference this makes, you'll want to stick around. Overdrive means the front wheels spin faster than the rear. In this case, 23% faster. The goal? Better climbing, tighter turning and more control on technical lines. But it can also change how the rig feels to drive, so we'll need to test if it's worth it. As always, we'll run weight checks, incline tests and some trail driving to see if the numbers and the feel match the promise. Let's open up the axles and get the overdrive installed. Inside the package here we have the gear set. And this will make the front wheels turn 23% faster than the rears. You have several options. You get 14% overdrive, 23% overdrive and the fastest of 33% overdrive. And I opted to use the 23%. So not too slow, but not the most aggressive either. So somewhere in the middle. And I think that will be a happy medium, because if the front wheels turn too fast, the rig can be tricky to drive on normal circumstances. If you're doing some trail driving and so on, and not just only vertical climbs. So we'll start with open up the center diff, and I will compare the two. So I will show on camera how the old gears look and how the new ones look. And then I'll do a montage where I install the new one, and then we will come back for the testing. So you will see the whole install. Alright, you will witness the first startup with me. It's gonna be really exciting to see how the cars react now with the 23% overdrive. So let's see if it drives. It moves. And it turns faster than the rear tire. So it's a success. Now for the real test. Let's put this rig on climbs, turns and technical lines and see how much overdrive changes the game. And like we have done in the previous episodes, we will do the CG tests, even though I don't think it will change anything. And then we will do the dynamic test and the static test to see how much this affects the car's performance and the handling. With overdrive, the front pulls the rig up and around obstacles instead of the rear just pushing. You can feel it bite into climbs and steer through tighter lines. Alright, back at the CG testing, we have installed the new overdrive in the front axle, and now we will check the weight of the car, if it has changed in any way. And now the car is weighing 353 grams, so we actually lost 1 gram overall weight. And I suppose that's because you have a brass gear in the stock axle and the upgraded one is hardened steel. So we lost 1 gram, and if we check the front axle, we have 200 grams, so we lost 1 gram. So if we take 200 divided by 353, that's 56.6% front weight, and that is decreased by 0.2%. And let's see if we have 151 grams at the back. Yeah, it's flickering. Yeah, now it's 151 grams. So the back is weighing exactly as it was before, but since the overall weight decreased by 1 gram, the percentage got up by 0.2. So we lost 0.2% at the front and gain it at the back. And with that knowledge, we will go over to dynamic testing and then static testing to see how much the overdrive helps us in the climbing area. So see you in a second. Alright, we will start where we left off. Last time we managed to climb 56 degrees exactly. We start the test with a climb of 56 degrees, and then we will see if the performance is any better with the overdrive installed at the bench testing, with the front tire spinning 23% faster than the rears. And as you see, the car is climbing really good, even though the front left is lifting a bit, but we managed to climb 56 degrees now. Okay, so let's see if we can manage to increase half of a degree. Alright, 56.65. .6 is not achievable, I would say. So we will try and climb 56.2 degrees instead of 56.6, since that wasn't achievable. But here you can see that the front wheels is turning a lot faster. Perhaps an overdrive doesn't make a substantial difference in a bench test like this. I think the real difference is in the real world, when you have rock ledges that the tire grip on, and then the car is pulled up by the front tires that it wouldn't be if the tires are spinning at the same rate. But now when the tire is turning faster, it helps to climb the ledge and grip the ledge on the upside, so to say. But on these kinds of bench tests, perhaps you don't see the real gain. But if we try long enough, we will get the 56.2 or 15 as it stays now, 56.2. We'll keep the momentum going now, then I think we will get it. Yeah, so 56.2 is the max with overdrive. And perhaps if we would have tested long enough without overdrive, we perhaps should have managed to get up to 56.2 also. So it will be fun to see how the car reacts in the real world. We're finished with the dynamic testing, and now we will test the static. So let's start with the straight incline. And the experience from last time was also that we lost the traction now. So the static incline last time was 62 degrees. Yeah, I would say that perhaps we have lost a couple of tenths now, since the weight actually was going down at the front. And the side hill, 50.1 last time. Yeah, and I would say about the same, a couple of tenths here and there. So 50.2 I saw. So I will clean this up and go out to the trail, and I'll see you there. Alright, we're back at the trail to see how the overdrive is working and if we see any difference, how the car reacts. Alright, let's see if we see any difference here, how the rig is pulled up. Yeah, I can see some difference, I think. I will compare it to the old footage. But you can see here that the front tires are really pulling now. And not letting the back end push it upwards, so to say. Alright, now we're back at the real pointy stone here. So let's see if we see any difference here with the new overdrive. About the same. So let's climb the stone here where we climbed the last time. Yeah, I think I can see some improvement. So let's take a closer look here now. If we take this ledge here, for example. Yeah, you can see that the front tires are pulling. As long as they get the grip now, they really pull the car forward. Perhaps the shocks could be upgraded here, because you see that you get a lot of bouncing action now. The front tires, when they are lacking the grip, the front tires really bounce. Alright, but we got it. So the slippery rock and the shocks here is the limiting factor. Alright, now we are at the spot where the car didn't make it up before. We have a double edge here, or a double ledge. You have one ledge here, and then another steeper ledge here. So before, the rear tires were caught here, and then the car flipped over. So let's see how the car reacts now when we have overdrive. Yeah, we will have to keep improving the car to see if we will be able to climb this at some later stage. We don't have the front weight to keep it down. If we would have the weight to get up here, then we can manage. So yeah, so it's the front bias, I would say. And perhaps if we could make the wheelbase a bit longer, so the front wheels could have a bit more reach, perhaps then you could get some more climbing capability. So we'll see what we can do about that, about the wheelbase and the front bias in the last episode. The 23% overdrive transforms how this rig drives. It climbs more confidently, it feels more precise in the tight spots, and it's just easier to control. It's not a flashy upgrade, but it might be one of the most effective ones so far. That's part 4 wrapped up, and while overdrive makes a huge difference, the next upgrade changes the way the whole rig behaves on tough lines. You'll want to see it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!